Thursday evening to bring you personality profile. Good evening. Welcome aboard to my favorite time on radio, where we get to sit with amazing people doing wonders for Ghana and get to know them and all of that. My name is Lexis Bill. I hope you've had a really good day. This is the part where you actually take a seat, grab a drink, relax and soak in this moment. This great conversation that we're about to have. Welcome aboard. Thanks to my team as well for putting this together. We're going to have a great hour from now to 8 o'clock. Well, that's a very interesting conversation that we really need to have. I'm still in the party mood. I'm still in the December mood, actually. My 2023 has not officially started yet. I'm still having fun. I'm still reeling off the excitement of December and all, it offered. I got to be honest with you. December saw a flurry of activities like it's always been for the past couple of years. Ghana is now like the hottest destination for holidaying in December. I mean, owing to the aggressive positioning and invitation handed over to the diaspora, so we can put it that way, and other Africans on the continent. So many events were lined up, and some of us went to party like back to back, morning, night, day, wake up, go again. I know a lot of you did that, party hopping here and there, because, December offered a lot of great experiences. Now, one of the main events that people from all over the globe looked forward to was Afrochella. Or should I say Afrofuture?
Yes,
Well, we'll get to actually, demystify that very shortly. It was a literal roadblock as thousands of revelers thronged the Elwak Sports Stadium. I mean, I totally was amazed at the number of people who showed up. I was there at day two, and I saw how massive it was. I mean, thousands of people witnessing great performances from A-list stars, from Shatta Wale to Burna Boy, Ashake, Fali Pupa, and a tall list of performers. Now, Afrochella, now called Afrofuture, is a festival designed to highlight and elevate thrilling and thriving talent from within Africa. The festival exists to foster engagement, to boost tourism within Ghana and Africa at large by providing a space for the diaspora to celebrate culture by appreciating African music, food, art, and culture curated from a native's perspective. Well, my guest tonight is the founder and chief executive officer of Culture Management Group, CMG, and Afrofuture Festival. Well, together with his team, they were named Goodwill Ambassadors for Ghana, and should I say they delivered? They are still delivering, actually. Abdul Karim Abdullah is my guest tonight. Abdul, how are you doing, man?
Oh, man, it's a pleasure for you to have me here. Thank you so
Good,
much.
good to have you. How's the day been, and how's the season?
To be honest, I mean, I've been smiling. It was a rough year, 2022, getting to the finish line. And,
Yeah.
Thankfully, my team and I were able to deliver. We were able to give people what we said we were going to give them. We were able to capitalize on our promise to Ghana Tourism Authority and the amount of people that we were going to bring out. So I'm very, I'm feeling very good, honestly. Like, and it takes a lot for me to feel good about what we've done and how I feel about myself about what we've done. And right now I feel really good.
That's good. I need to say congratulations to you and your team. I witnessed it for the first time this year, and like I said, I mean, I had a ball. I was totally amazed. I mean,
but why is this your first year?
Why is this my first year? I don't think there's any good reason. Honestly. I probably am crowd averse. Not really.
I can understand.
That's when I'm not on stage.
No, I understand.
Most of the time I'm on stage, but this time I had to come join the party.
We need to get you on stage.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we need to have that. But no, it was a great experience, and you guys really nailed it. After a hectic December like that, I thought you'd probably be in the Grand Cayman or Bora Bora on some yacht sipping some champagne, and you're here.
The work doesn't stop. A lot of people think that the work stops at the end of the festival, but there's still a lot of things that you have to iron out, accounts that you have to close, and books you have to close, and also before you start preparing to party and enjoy, you have to really prepare what the next year is going to look like.
Okay.
Right. A lot of this work takes a year of planning.
So basically, back to it.
Yeah, right back to it. There's post-mortem, you review with your team what went well, what didn't go well, what things you can improve upon, areas for, improvement, obviously, opportunities that we may have missed. All these things are things that you should do as soon as the event is over, because that's when you have the most clarity. And I could definitely go and enjoy and party it all out right now, but I think that it would just be a dereliction of duty.
Okay.
Right.
Now let's get into the thick of things, because not long ago, I saw a communique that suggests that, of course, that confirmed exactly what we all thought. Afrofuture, Afrochella is now Afrofuture.
Yeah.
Now, tell us how we got to the point, to this point for the uninitiated. How did we get here?
Well, I mean, I think that the festival has been evolving for some time now, right? Initially, when we started, it was a call to action for people to come to Ghana, for people to come and experience Ghana in December, and that kind of changed with the year of return. The year of return kind of changed the directive of what this was going to become. And what we started to see as we continue to do exit interviews and things of that nature is that people wanted more experiences for engagement, for in touching. And I think that right now we're in a space where there's a new renaissance for people that want to either live here, that want to do business here, that want to be able to experience the culture on a more deeper level. And I think that when we were thinking about the theme for this year, last year, it just kind of made sense for us to kind of usher what the new future could look like for the Black diaspora right here in Ghana. And that's why Afrofuture just kind of makes sense, because in any direction we go, whether it's fashion, food, and music, the collaboration of the Black diaspora, not just from America or Europe or Asia, when we come together, it changes the direction of our future, and I think that that's what we're trying to communicate.
So going forward, it's Afrofuture.
Afrofuture, that's where we at right now.
Great, amazing stuff. All right, so the last edition, from like I was saying earlier, from where I stand, it was great. From where you sit, how was it?
No, I think for what we've been through to kind of get there, I'm very proud of it. I think that I'm very proud of the product that we put out. I believe that we were able to improve from the previous year. We were on time. Our artists came out fairly back to back. The events ended on time. We were actually able to do after parties this year, which was pretty exciting. All of our acts showed up and they performed. I thought that was very, exciting. We had, a lot better safety than we had in the past, as far as, people being able to enter the gates and exits and pathways. We didn't, there were challenges, but we were able to overcome
Just
them.
reminded me of all that winding barricades.
Yeah.
Bruh, I was tired, man.
Yeah, well, I mean,
That was a whole workout.
I think that in the past, Ghana is very difficult, right? Just even when you hire security, sometimes the security be watching the show with you, right? So for us, one of the first line of defenses we wanted to be able to do to kind of ensure people had a good experience was to kind of have those barricades.
Yeah.
And I know it involved a lot of walking, but I think that it just kind of made the space a little bit better.
No, it does.
For us, yeah. And that's what we wanted to be
I'm
able
not complaining at all.
No, it's good. It's good. I mean, we're still perfecting it. I mean, honestly, it's it's not something. Most events don't have these kind of things here in Ghana right now. It's not the standard, but hopefully it'll become the standard so that people can go in and out of places, safer, and that's the things that we want.
And all of a sudden, it looked like the LWAC Stadium was a little too small for it.
Yeah.
Did you get that sense?
I did feel that way. I think that this year, everybody wants to be VIP, so the VIPs were a little bit bigger. To just kind of give them that experience. But yes, I think that we can expand on the field a bit, which is something that we're looking at doing. Hopefully we'll be able to come to an agreement.
Are you guys going to consider something like maybe the Black Star Square?
No, not at all. Not at all. LWAC is our home. I mean, when we first moved to LWAC, everybody was confused, like, how do you go from Accra Polo to LWAC? But, we see beauty in the space, and hopefully we could develop a lasting partnership where we can refurbish and beautify the place as well. I mean, we do it every year. Every year I paint the stadium. We paint the stadium. We fix the toilets. And every year we have to do it all over again. So hopefully now we can have some sort of lasting partnership that will allow us to kind of make this a facility that people in Accra can use, but it can also remain state-of-the-art throughout the year and not necessarily have to be refurbished every year.
Okay. Would you be able to tell... Well, I'm sure you will be. How many people attended Afrochella this year?
Yeah, in total, I think we had about 32,000 people over the 2 days, which was far beyond our expectations. We expected about 20,000. So we did a pretty good number. That's a pretty good jump. Afrochella, when we started, was about 4,600. Then we jumped to 12,005. Then we jumped to 16,500. And then in the last year, because we were coming back from COVID, we had a limit. We did about 10,000.
Okay.
So for us to go from 10,000 to 30,000 over 2 days is
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
All tickets sold. I mean, I'm very, very proud of the work that we were able to do.
Yeah, and are you able to also track where your guests are coming from.
Yes, absolutely. That's one of the main things that is very important to us, just knowing where our audience are coming from, where they're buying from, the type of cards they're using to buy. All of those things are important data points for me.
What insights can you share with us on that?
I mean, we have the beauty is we have people buying tickets from everywhere. Like sometimes I log in, I say India, and I'm like, wow, I didn't even know people from India want to come to us. I think the first surprise I ever got was people buying tickets from Australia.
From Australia.
From Australia, and
Okay.
when I saw that, because I always look at the back end to see who's visiting our website, where they're visiting from, why they're visiting, how many people are visiting from there. And when I saw Australia, I see certain part of like Europe that Eastern Europe that I'm not I don't even know black people live there, and people are coming out to support us. I think is amazing. That means our story is vibrating a lot higher than we thought.
Yeah. Now this kind of show needs a very heavy investment.
Absolutely.
I mean,
we agree.
no. If you get to the venue and you see the kind of work that's been put in, it's like big budgets kind of event, right?
Yeah. No, it's absolutely a big budget event, and it's been crazy, but we've been managing.
You've been able to tell me numbers.
Yeah.
Can you tell me budget?
I can't tell you budget,
Like
but
circa.
just know that the budget is very big. The budget is very big.
There's a reason why I'm asking, and that's why I'm saying circa what?
I mean, it's pretty big. I would just say, when you look at all the artists on the lineup alone, you should know that this is not a small event, right? Each of these artists, most of them want to fly private jets. Most of them are coming with a band, and each of them are getting flights, right? Some of them are flying in from Europe. So there's, for instance, an artist, we flew 23 people from London, right? So that's not cheap. So you could just look at that and understand that this is not something that's cheap. And then you have people coming in from Nigeria. Like this year we had to add another flight with AWA in order for us to be able to get all of our talent here, right? You're flying people in, you're booking talent, you're paying for production, you're paying for the venue because we are paying for LWAC. It's not free. We're paying for the design of the venue, we're paying for the installations, we're paying for the design, we're paying for the maintenance, all
Ground
of these
staff.
things. Right, and most companies in Ghana are not net 30. As in, once you want to buy something, you need to pay right now or give a deposit right now before you can at least have it. And most places abroad, you can do net 30. As in, I'm good for it. I'll pay you in 30 days after the event. Most in Ghana, that doesn't necessarily work. You might find out that the day of, they say, well, somebody gave me cash, so I took your barricade somewhere else, which has happened to us in the past.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I asked because what was I just wanted to find out what was corporate Ghana's response and assistance in this event. Did you get sponsorship?
Yeah, we did. I mean, I want to give a big shout out to Rana Motors. Rana Motors is one of the companies that supported us this year. They were very helpful in ensuring that all of our artists had rides around the town. So if you want to rent a car, definitely reach out to Rana Motors. I want to give a big shout out to Verna Water. I mean, Verna, we work with a lot of companies, but I mean, the type of partnership that Verna gave us this year was very special in that they gave us more than enough that we needed to kind of ensure that, their brand was supported in the way that they were. I mean, I think we've struggled with getting Ghanaian companies to market with us or to at least engage with us in that way. I think most of them think that our audience is just the diaspora, right? I mean, that's a misconception that I'm trying to fix right now, and we are trying to fix, because our audience is not just the diaspora. I think the diaspora is also a byproduct, but really it's for Ghanaians to come and showcase what we got. Like, if I could have it my way, local Ghanaians would utilize this opportunity to sell as much as they can to people in the diaspora or engage people in the diaspora. A lot of people out there are experiencing Africa for the first time ever. There's so much that they're curious about, and there's so much that we should be curious about them about. A lot of us have our perceptions from hip-hop or from movies. They have their perceptions based on the news, based on the information that's been fed to them, and you have an opportunity to just kind of connect. And I think that we need to do a better job at figuring out how to do that connection, speak to each other.
Is that really where it started from? I'm curious. Where did it all start from? What was the mission from the set go?
I mean, I used to come. I've been coming to Ghana in December for a long time, and we partied a lot. We slept all day. We partied all night, like you mentioned. And one of the things that used to rub me the wrong way was that there were so many amazing people in Ghana doing amazing things around the world, and we would see each other after the fact. So you go maybe on Snapchat, you go on Instagram, say, "Ah, you were in Ghana. Oh, you was in Ghana. Oh, you was in Ghana." And I just thought that was kind of productive. And then, Ghana Twitter is like, you diasporans, you come for 2 weeks, you mess with all the girls and then you go, and I think that
Were they right?
they were right,
Oh,
absolutely.
really?
No, not me, but but I would say that I just thought that it was a missed opportunity for us to kind of connect with each other. Like if somebody in Ghana, look at the amazing things that people Ghanaians are doing around the world. We have Virgil Abloh, one of the best designers
Right.
ever for Louis Vuitton. You have Sir David Ajay, who's building monuments in the United States and around the world. All of these people and likes of them, there are young Ghanaians that work for them. There are young Ghanaians that are making differences around the world that don't have to have those kind of names, but are still making differences in rooms. And if they come to Ghana, I think that Ghanaians should embrace them. Ghanaians should be able to understand how we can work together to either, one, export some of those expertise back home here so that we can use it and develop our country, give opportunities for jobs. Like Afrochella creates about 1,300 jobs a year, and that's just us. I don't know how many jobs. I know other companies. Afro Nation is creating jobs here. I know, other companies that are doing things here are creating opportunities for people. So, I want to encourage that. I want to encourage that relationship and that development that people are trying to do, and that bridge that's being built, so that we can continue to create new opportunities, not only for those abroad, but those people right here.
So when you started, you thought of using music, arts, and our culture, and get an event together and call it the Afrochella, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that where it started from?
No, so when we named the festival Afrochella at the time, I wanted a way to communicate echoes of Africa or echoes of our world, right? And that prefix "chella" is a Latin word that means echo, like sounds. And I wanted to vibrate African sounds. And we felt music, fashion, food, and art is a way to communicate that, right? You don't have to know anybody to see their clothes and know, oh, he's African. Which part of Africa is he from? It's something that automatically you're curious about, right? Until you hear their language and how they speak. You don't have to, when anybody hears Afro beats, they know this is African music. Either you love it or you're getting to know it and you want to love it, right? Or everybody wants to battle who has the best jollof. Mm-hmm. Ghana, Nigeria, Liberia, Sierra Leone, or everybody wants to talk about our food. And I think that there's an opportunity for us to dig deeper into those stories and be able to kind of tell them a lot better from our perspectives. We don't have to consume a telenovela from Mexico. We can make our own shows. We need more things we do for Laos. We need more YOLOs right here in Ghana so that we can enjoy them. We can see our own selves in TV shows. And I think that that's what we need across Africa. When Africans love ourselves, then we don't need validation of other people. Then we can bring more people in. And then black people around the world can develop a love for themselves because they have a place to come. And I think that that's important. When we grow up here in Ghana, you see everybody that looks like you. You don't have to worry about whether you're good enough. People that live outside, yes, they may have money, but they're always questioning their self-worth because they are second-class citizens in some cases, in most cases. And I think that that's the difference, and I think that what we're trying to do with the festival is just kind of create a bridge that brings unity amongst the black diaspora. And from my standpoint, my point of view, Afrochella seems to be a great place that people like to come and enjoy each other's company. They want to dance with the cultural dancers. They want to get their face painted. They want to dress in African gear. They want to try African food. I think that's something special that should be celebrated,
So apart from this event, what other footprints did you set out, to make sure you achieve these goals?
We created, through culture, we created culture management group. We created Piano and Brunch, which is another exchange program, if you may. And people see it as a party. I see it as an exchange program because what we've done is we've invited so many South Africans to come and share their Piano music with us, and a lot of people don't understand it, but for me, it's just kind of like Africans need to learn about other Africans. We need to dance to their music. We need to eat their food, try their food, at least be aware of them. So that was one thing we created. This year, outside of the festival, we also introduced the expo. And what we did with the expo is we had topics that were spanned from conversation about entering the food industry, what the food industry looks like in Ghana. We had conversation that brought together health professionals from around the world to just kind of have dialogue. We had a poetry night. We had, one of the most amazing poets around the world, Jay Ivy. He actually performed at our poetry event. I thought that was really interesting to see young Ghanaian poets and young American poets and people from Europe just sharing their stories through poetry. I thought that was beautiful. We had several activations with YouTube, Audio Mac, and TuneCore. With YouTube, we ran a production masterclass. So if you're a young individual that wants to learn how to produce music, you got to learn from your very own Ghanaian Jules. Jules is a Grammy-nominated artist, and he's produced so many bangers that we dance to, and he needs to be celebrated right here in Ghana, and we did that. We had about a class of about 35 to 40 students. We also had panel discussions around the effect of the diaspora in African music. On that panel, we had Asa, Davido's manager. We also had King Promise. We had Small God. We had these people that are changing our culture for the better, for them to be able to speak and for people to be able to engage them. We also had, a Leaders of the New School conversation with Elaine from South Africa, Jackie from right here in Ghana, hosted by Mercedes Benson and Fireboy. Fireboy is one of the biggest stars that we have right now out of Africa that's making amazing music. I thought that was an excellent program. We hosted a DJ battle, giving young people who want to DJ an opportunity with TuneCore. And we actually picked a winner. He's from the United States, but he was actually really, really good, Ethan Thomas. We had a lot of engaging programming that was fun, and it touched all sectors, whether it was tech, whether it was food, whether it was fashion, whether it was art, and people got to experience this. So when you came to Ghana, you didn't come to just party. There was business aspect where you can connect with people who are like-minded like you can build with, and our hope is to be able to build on that. And one of the programs I'm really happy about is our Rising Star program, where we partner with Audio Mac. And that program really is, when Afrochella first started, Kenny talks about how we did a program that flopped. And we did on December 26th, I want to say, was it 2015 maybe? We threw a beach party, and it wasn't good. But at that party, I realized there were so many young, talented artists that were performing. And it was so good. And that's where I believe the idea for Afrochella as it exists started for me. Because although the event didn't do as well, I saw this. I'm like, there's talent here that we can showcase. So ever since then, all of our aspects and our focus has been on supporting and developing rising talent. So we've developed a Rising Star stage. So young artists who want to perform, people always submitting, Abdul, I want to perform. You can go through this program. So Audio Mac collaborated with us. We created a Rising Star program. We submit your music through Audio Mac. We have expert professionals review it. This year we brought Sony Music on board, and Sony Music gave the winner basically a marketing opportunity to market your music, also create a video for them as well. A young lady won. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting her name, but she won, and she was on stage and presented as the winner. But it was a great opportunity.
Yeah.
Those same people also got an opportunity to get a class from a music manager at Instagram, so that you can know how you can use your social media platform to elevate your music. And we definitely want to be able to develop this program so that we can create a new pipeline of amazing artists that can perform.
What was the major hurdle in getting to this point? What was the major challenge you encountered?
That's a great question. There's so many. There's so many. I would say, I'm going to look internally. I mean, for me, outsiders are always going to do what they do. But for me, sometimes it was just about getting over my own doubt about what I can do and what we can do as a team. I think that for my team, we have a very solid team. A lot of women that are very powerful, are very strong in what they do, whether it's Khadija, who leads our talent team, whether it's Tiffany, who leads our content team, Ashley, who leads our press, our executive assistant, Aisha, who set this up for me, and, or Cole, who led our operations, or Francis, who works with Jam Jar, who's supporting us on our VIPs and everything. We just have a strong team that love what we do. They believe in the brand, they believe in the mission, they believe in what we're trying to do, and they support it. So for us as a leadership team, it's just really about allowing ourselves to be able to kind of take in opinions, allowing ourselves to be more collaborative, allowing ourselves to kind of get over self-doubt, and allowing ourselves to kind of close our ears to anything outside and just really just focus on our goal. I think once we're able to do that, anything is possible for us. Like, I truly believe that now, after 7 years of doing this via Bootstrap, right? If anybody saw Afrochella, it does not look like a world class stage. It does not look like a world class event, and that's what we choose to kind of deliver. But for the most part, that's hard work. I mean, and I want to give it to all the women on my team and all the guys on my team. The way we come together to put this together. It's all them. I may be a figurehead. My Kenny might be a figurehead, but literally, it's the team. The team is strong. So once we got rid of all doubt and we just focused on us, and we knew everything was possible for us.
Was there a deliberate mission to get more women in your team?
No, there wasn't a deliberate woman. They just deliver. You know what I mean? Honestly and
more
truly.
Than the men?
I mean, yes. I mean, I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna keep it honestly and say, they just deliver. They are able to really deliver, and I mean, I'm gonna give them a shout out. I definitely am hard. I'm definitely a tough boss sometimes, but I think that, they all, I love them, and they all know that, it's about the mission, and they just kill it all the time, every single time. They exceed my expectations, all the time.
Would you generalize that statement to say that maybe women deliver more than men do?
Hey, I'm not gonna generalize. I'm talking about the women on my team are superstars. You know what I mean? They just really kill it. They kill it.
Okay.
Consistently.
Yeah. Well, here on this lot, we'd like to get to know our guests a bit more. Know where you hail from. I know you lived in the States for a little bit.
Yep.
But where did you grow up and where are you from?
So I grew up between Ghana and the States. In '95, my dad sent us back to Ghana. I actually went to school at St. Paul's Lutheran right here.
Were you born here?
No, I was born in the Bronx.
Okay.
By '95, my dad sent us to Ghana.
Why?
He wanted us to learn some of his culture. He also didn't want us to be spoiled brats. In his mind, if we grew up in the U.S., we'd be spoiled brats or we would become bad.
Was it legit?
I don't think so. I mean, I have cousins that grew up in the U.S. that are doing very well. I mean, I think that was the mindset that African parents had at the time, and it wasn't their fault. That was the time frame. And also, most of our parents that are living in the U.S. tend to work a lot, so they don't have the amount of hands-on opportunities that many other parents have. So a lot of them feel that it's best for them to kind of send their kids back home. So my dad did, and at the time when he did, I was like, I don't know about this. It was hard for me to not be with my parents, but to kind of look at it in retrospect now, it was the best thing he ever did for me, because now I have a very deep understanding of my culture. I grew up in the Bronx, so everybody in the Bronx is pretty much Ghanaian. My parents have a restaurant in the Bronx, so anybody is my auntie and uncle. It doesn't matter if they're Ghan, Edward, Tweet. They come to the restaurant, they're my uncle, they're my auntie, everybody. So I've always grew up in the community. But living in Ghana, living with my grandmother, growing up in Medina, those growing up with my brothers grew up in North Carnation, all of those things shaped who I am today. It shaped my character, it shapes the way I see people, how I think about people, how I treat people, how I think about life, and it gives me a two-dimensional or three-dimensional perspective, right? And then also going back to the U.S., going to school there, going to college there, has also given me a three-dimensional perspective of, about that as well. Because in Ghana, I'm Ghanaian. In America, I'm a black man, right? So just being able to kind of understand both dynamics and be able to communicate to both sides of my culture is something that is unique. And I don't think a lot of people appreciate that.
Yeah.
Somebody said we live in the middle, because they're like living in the middle of two cultures. Because to my parents, I'm a Kata. To Americans, I'm the African kid.
Yeah.
So I'm in the middle. So it's a good thing. I love it because it allows me to communicate to both sides of me. Because I fully accept being a Kata, but I'll fully accept being African as well.
At the time when you came back or when your parents brought you back, were there some cultural shocks that unsettled you?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, they were beating in school. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I used to go to Arabic school. You would buy your own cane, and they beat you. I thought that was kind of nuts. And then I think right before I was about to go back to the U.S., they were getting like exchange teachers to the school, and they were white, and they were beating kids.
The white teachers.
The white teachers. And I'm like, no, man. So I was still going to America back and forth. I'm like, you can't beat kids in American school, so why are you coming here to try and beat kids? Like, you know what I mean? Just because they're allowing you to. I think that was a culture shock. Like, it wasn't easy to get a gallon of milk, right? In America, you could go to any kind of store and get like a big gallon of milk. At the time when I was growing up in Ghana, milk, people was like preserving that little peak milk, so that was interesting and culture shock. My parents used to always send us barrels with cereal and things of that nature. So I had that. But I think it was just hard to just not see my parents. And then going back to America, because I've been in school in Ghana, watching a student disrespect the teacher, I was like, hey, you talking to a teacher like that? You know what I mean? I thought that was just a very interesting dynamics. And every now and again, I think about those times, and I kind of laugh because the dynamics were so different. But like they have shaped me and who I am today.
What were your aspirations at the time?
I wanted to be a doctor for most of my life.
Okay.
Yeah, so I do have a master's in public health. I have a bachelor's in biology and psychology, and a master's in public health. I was gonna go to medical school,
and then
I fell in love with research more than I did with medical school. Right? I knew that I just didn't want to spend the rest of my time in school. You know what I mean? I do feel like I might get a doctorate soon, but for right now,
working on it.
Yeah, I'm working towards it. I have my master's now, so I'm just chilling, trying to build my business. But I do believe that my intention is to go back for a doctorate. I still work in research still. I still have a job that allows me to be able to do everything I want to do outside of my business as well. Okay. And it's in research, medical research. So I manage cancer trials, and I manage big budgets to kind of oversee the trials and ensure that, they're functioning properly and we could get a drug approved.
Okay.
Those are the things that's what I do professionally, and it's a passion of mine. I actually love that just as much as I love watching a concert, just as much as I love planning Afrochella or Afrofuture. I love that just as much. And
so CMG is not necessarily your main gig.
Well, CMG is my baby, but I have other passions, and I like to. I just feel like if I enjoy something, I should be able to explore all of it.
Yeah. Right. But your dream of being a doctor is shelved, and the other doctor you want to pursue.
Yeah. I don't want to be a medical doctor anymore. I mean, there was a time I wanted to do that. It's funny, I'll tell you a story. So when I was doing research, at the time I was working at a hospital called Memorial Sloan Kettering. It's one of the top cancer hospitals in the world. And they took me on a conference to Chicago, and I was sitting with one of my doctors, actually one of my favorite doctors in general that I used to work with. So what I used to do was I would manage a study for a doctor, and we'll give him all the information he needs to know so that he could treat the patient according to a protocol.
Right.
And we went to go to a conference, and we met with a pharmaceutical rep that was repping one of the pharmaceutical companies. And he asked me, like, what you want to do? What do you want to be when you grow up? I said, well, I'm trying to be a doctor. I want to, at the time I wanted to be either emergency or a cardiologist. And he looked at me and he started laughing. And I didn't understand. Then he looked at my doctor and he asked him, like, you ain't tell him that doctors don't make that much money? I was like, listen. So, I think, obviously nobody wants to be a doctor because of money and things of that nature. But for me, it was just about time. It was about how I expected to live my life. And I just realized as much as that was my childhood dream, it wasn't really what my passion was. So
Yeah.
I decided to leave it alone.
Okay. Now, CMG is doing good,
Oh yeah.
obviously. After 7 years, you guys are making inroads. You're looking to expand and whatnot. What's the next step for CMG?
Oh well, we want to grow into a full production company. We have a lot of ideas around content we want to shoot.
Mm.
We feel that we've had to vertical everything that we want to do in Ghana. What I mean by that is, for instance, this year we had to build our own barricades,
Mm.
right? Because we couldn't rely on vendors to provide it to us, right? Without having to have an issue of whether or not they're going to arrive on time. So being able to vertical those things are very important to us. There's opportunities. We want to develop our Rising Star program. I think that's a space that we want to be able to develop. We want to do more content. We funded a couple of shows. Modern Day Moms of Accra with Vanessa John. It was one of the productions that we were able to produce. Our hope is that we can do more of those. We have a lot of ideas that we want to do with our production company outside of just doing more parties and more festivals around the continent as well.
Okay. Now, let's talk about December in Ghana. What are your thoughts on Ghana's positioning with Beyond the Return right now and all that we're doing in December?
Yeah, I mean, I just think, first of all, we need to just take the focus of just December. I mean, I think that we are at a place now where people will come to Ghana all year round if people decide to do events all year round. So we've taken that opportunity at CMG right now. And I'm definitely inviting more promoters and to come and do things throughout the year. December in Ghana is amazing, but obviously there's opportunity in Easter, there's opportunity in the summertime, there's opportunity and there's opportunity outside of Accra as well. And CMG, we noticed that, and our hope is to be able to explore that. And if we have to be the first ones to open it up so people will come and join us, I'm more than happy for that to happen. But I definitely want us to move away from the idea that all the money in Ghana has to be made in December. Like, you know what I mean? I think that's something that we need to move away from. I think it will help tourism to have tourism and people influxing for events or for opportunities or creative summits and things of that nature throughout the year than just focusing specifically on December. And I think that that's a model that we're trying to adopt ourselves.
From the leadership perspective, what does Ghana need to do more?
I mean, I think, there's a lot of things Ghana has to do. I mean, in my opinion, Beyond the Return and Year of Return were amazing initiatives. But I think that one of the things that was an opportunity was that we could have marketed that to the locals a lot more, educate them on how they can benefit from the Year of Return and Beyond the Return initiatives, and mobilize opportunities for them so that they can be involved in the process. I think what's happening now is that a lot of people are developing resentment because they think that the aspirants are coming in and making it worse for them when there's policy that hasn't been developed to support them, right, or to give them opportunity. I think that's a problem.
And you think those concerns are legit?
I think they are very legit. I mean, I think anybody that feels a way, I just think that the issue shouldn't be with people coming in. Your issue should be with the people who implemented the program, right? I think that those are things that are opportunities that we can explore. We can explore opportunities to, one, have some sort of understanding of how we're going to invite people into the country. What I mean by that is people shouldn't be having to pay $4,000 or $5,000 for economy tickets to come to Ghana. Not business class tickets, economy tickets. I think that's outrageous, and somebody in government needs to say something about it. I think that's very important for them to do. If you want to boost tourism, the best way to do that is to kind of make it more accessible for people. A flight from the U.S. to China is 22 hours or more. It's not $4,000. Ghana is 9 to 10 hours. There's no reason why an economy ticket should be $4,000. A business class, almost 15. That's outrageous. We're getting robbed. Somebody needs to fix that. We also need to kind of figure out how we can work with these hotels. Shout out to these hotels, but the prices that they're charging people are outrageous. You know, a lot of people, you know, I was in South Africa earlier this year, and somebody said, Abdul, I can go to Dubai for 30,000 rand. I have to spend at least 60 to come to Ghana. That doesn't make sense to me. You know, a lot of people need to understand that the opportunity needs to last for a long time. If you're trying to get all your money one time, then you are taking that person from being able to come back the next year. So if somebody has to save $10,000 every year just to come to Ghana, how many people can actually do that? You know what I mean? Especially when the economy is bad. So if we want this initiative to continue, we need to just be more mindful about understanding how to make this effective for not only people locally, but people outside. You know, I mean, I think, you know, people are booking Airbnbs. When they get to Ghana, they're being canceled. That's a problem. You know, how do you promote tourism when that's an issue? You know, and I think that for us, those are some of the concerns that our customers are telling us. Like, you know, and I don't want anybody coming to Ghana feeling like they're going to get got. I definitely feel everybody should get their own. You know, if you're going to get small things for the boys, yeah, definitely. But let's make it reasonable. Let's be welcoming. Let's figure out how we can make it beneficial to everybody so everybody can enjoy. And like, let's make the policies internally match the policies outwardly so that, one, the people here are welcoming because they know they're benefiting as well, and then the people that are coming are knowing how they're going to operate in the safe and they're going to be advocated for and protected here as well. And I think that those things need to match for us to really take Ghana's tourism to the next level.
Personally, what are the lessons all of this you've done has taught you?
I mean, it's taught me about patience. I think patience is one of the biggest lessons that I've learned. Perseverance is another one that I've learned because it's just kind of like, you know, every single year we've done Afrochella, we faced a challenge. It just happens to be that 2022 we faced so many challenges.
Including?
I'm not going to name them, but I'm just going to say we faced so many challenges. And, you know, because of who we are and, you know, the team, like I mentioned, and our resolve, you know, we were able to sail the ship and we were able to kind of get through the year. And I think that speaks to the quality of our event and our product, the quality of our story, and also our commitment to our audience. You know, if somebody's going to decide to buy a ticket for Afrochella, then, you know, we want to be able to make sure we say we delivered for you.
Good stuff. Congrats, bro.
Thank you.
I think you guys have done an amazing job, and we wanted to understand the story from your perspective, and it's quite clear now.
Thank you
and
so
I think
much.
this is on to like great stuff in the future.
Absolutely.
Afrofuture.
Afrofuture. That's where we at now.
Well,
You
the
know?
world is listening to you. Anything you want to share with them?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I just want the whole world and Ghana specifically to know that Afrochella is for you. If you have a proposal on how we can make it better, submit it to us. You know, I want you to know we respond to everybody. If you email us, don't try and go to my DMs. Email us. Email us, you know, send us a proposal. Let us know how you can help us grow, and we want you to be a part of it. If you have a program or if you have an organization here in Ghana that you want to highlight, or you want people from the diaspora to engage, or you want locally people to engage, let us know. If you have a business that you want to market, you want to promote, we have opportunities for that as well. I mean, we're open for business, and it's not just for the diasporans. It's built right here. We haven't gone anywhere. All of us are right here in Ghana, and our hope is for you to be able to engage with us and help us grow this bigger and better, and allow us to figure out ways that we can ensure that it supports you know, more people. I would love to get to a place where we can hire 2,000 people, and that's our goal.
Good stuff. Abdul Karim Abdullah.
Thank you.
You're the man.
Appreciate you.
Congrats to you and your team, Kenny, and all the wonderful, hardworking ladies who are delivering.
Yes. Yeah, shout out to them.
Absolutely. It's been great spending time with you on Personality
Pleasure's
Profile.
all mine. Thank
And we're
you.
looking forward to Afrofuture this year.
That's the plan.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
I'm Lexis Bill. It's been a great evening hanging out with the founder and chief executive officer of Culture Management Group, CMG, and Afrofuture Festival. Uncle Billy is standing by. He's going to play you some real good music this evening. So, yeah, stay tuned in. Thank you so much for spending time with us. The video for this conversation is on our Facebook page, so you can actually go check it out. And have a great evening.